The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, I hope you guys all had a blessed Christmas with your families, friends, or loved ones. I genuinely love all of you in my audience, and I send nothing but love your way. And guys, me personally, I have no hate in my heart for anyone. So I want to send a very, very special message to the SEC, Gary Gensler, and Jay Clayton, on behalf of the entire XRP army.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck, 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 fuck.
And I think I speak for all of us when I say that was sent with nothing but love. Now guys, as we get into some powerful information for the day, I have to say that everything we knew was going to come has been coming specifically for our digital asset XRP. We saw this from Swift. Swift is exploring expansion of network into the digital asset market. This is absolutely monstrous. Banking cooperative Swift is to explore how it can interoperate in the development of the tokenized asset market, working in conjunction with Clearstream, Northern Trust, Settle, and other market participants. Relative to cryptocurrencies and stablecoins, the current market capitalization of tokenized assets is small, but momentum for these digital assets is expected to accelerate rapidly in the coming years. By some estimates, volumes could reach some $24 trillion by 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, this is only one niche in the entire grand scheme of all the money on the planet. Banks and security firms are vying to tap into this nascent market by developing digital asset service capabilities, such as private key safekeeping and support for the full life cycle of digital securities. Ladies and gentlemen, in Q1, they're having a series of experiments on issuance, delivery versus payments, and redemption processes needed to support a seamless tokenized asset market. These are all things that we in the XRP community have been paying attention to for a long time. We all speculate that XRP is one of those digital assets that Swift will use down the road. We all understand the connections that XRP and Ripple are tied with. Swift tapping into this digital asset space comes as no surprise to this army. This community of people have been on top of it and in front of the game for a long time, and the fact that we saw this right before Christmas was a happy holidays for everyone in this community. You see, Jay Clayton, Gary Gensler, and the SEC try to play Ebenezer Scrooge, but everyone in this community, we're so confident in our investment, we already know what the end game is. 2022 is going to be a powerful year for the price appreciation of numerous digital assets and the beginning of the rollout of utility and adoption for plenty others as well. Guys, regulation is at our doorstep. Regulation. It will filter out a lot of the scams in this space. This space needs credibility in order for it to truly get trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars. It will get trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars. And once we get the scary regulations that most people will be frightened to see, that is when we'll begin with utility. That is when we'll get our life-changing profits. This current bull run we are in right now is a speculative Fomo bull run, and it's not over yet. It's hardly even begun. But what I'll say to all of you is, after that speculative Fomo bull run, we'll have a nasty 70+% crash. After that 70+% crash, the SEC and others will say, hey, we have to protect investors. Plenty of people lost so much money. We have to get rid of the scams. That's a half-truth. They just want jurisdiction over this space. What will happen is, after the regulations, that's when institutions will be able to come in full force. And nothing is going to stop what's coming. They have to adopt or they will die. You see, here we have Crypto Eddie showing something from 2019 from Paris FinTech and the then CEO of Swift talking about how banks aren't ready for the volatility of crypto. Well, guys, with 2020 hindsight, we can see how Swift is in fact ready for the volatility of crypto and digital assets, given this recent message. Here's Brad Garlinghouse explaining to the CEO of Swift why what he stated is dumb.
I hear people talk about volatility, and I feel like they're propagating misinformation. The volatility risk of fiat, volatility is just a mathematical calculation of time times volatility. If you hold fiat for, let's say, an average Swift transaction today is in the order of magnitude 2 days, that's about 180,000 seconds. An XRP transaction is 3 seconds. So if you take a low volatile asset times a long duration fiat, or a high volatility asset versus a very, very short amount of time, it turns out mathematically there's less volatility risk in an XRP transaction than there is in a fiat transaction. The difference is you have market makers. When you do a Swift transaction, there's banks saying, there's a market maker saying, I'll lock in that rate. I'll take the volatility risk for the next 2 or 3 days. With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so quickly. I hear people talk about volatility, and I feel like they're propagating misinformation. The volatility risk of fiat, volatility is just a mathematical calculation of time times volatility. If you hold fiat for, let's say, an average Swift transaction today is in the order of magnitude 2 days, that's about 180,000 seconds. An XRP transaction is 3 seconds. So if you take a low volatile asset times a long duration fiat, or a high volatility asset versus a very, very short amount of time, it turns out mathematically there's less volatility risk in an XRP transaction than there is in a fiat transaction. The difference is you have market makers. When you do a Swift transaction, there's banks saying, there's a market maker saying, I'll lock in that rate. I'll take the volatility risk for the next 2 or 3 days. With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a subtle reminder, the reason XRP is going to win, going to be adopted, and going to appreciate in price is because logic, reason, and math is on our side. We are faster and cheaper. Period. We are connected to all these central banks. And I know I'm just saying that now and glossing over with that statement, not providing any documents at this specific moment. But trust me when I tell you the groundwork and the documentation has been found. When XRP's on-demand liquidity switch flips, here's another loaded channel. Swiss root Ripple net adapter with IBIS and 1 billion monthly transactions found by Crypto Eddie. We continue to find and confirm reasons to all of you why you should be absurdly bullish on XRP despite the suppressed price. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Art, one of my favorite chart analysts, has stated time and time again we are still going to explode in value. As you can see, XRP does nothing but test your patience for a very long time. But when it finally moves, it rips. He shows 3 different sections of XRP's price movement in the last bull run. We see the red section, capitulation. We see the blue section, the first blue section right here. That's the first wave up. Then we're going into the next section, the extremely powerful price appreciation cycle XRP likes to experience. This, in my opinion, will take us to a minimum $10 price. Best case scenario, we could get to the $20 to $25 range if the perfect XRP storm hits. Regardless, guys, this is still only the speculative FOMO bull run. And that's why all of you need to be extremely happy with what you own. Not only is our XRP going to the moon, we're getting free Spark tokens. We have our free Songbird. We got XFi very soon. We're getting Sologenic, Corium as well, Vagabond, and the plethora of other potential airdrops that you could claim using trust lines. XRP is one of those digital assets that rewards you for patience, and the impatient will gloss over it. The uninformed and the uneducated maxis will look over it and call it a scam. Say that it doesn't have utility, all because of their self-righteous ideals. We deserve every single dollar we're going to get, and nobody can call us lucky. Now guys, with that being said, let me pivot your attention back to something important I mentioned the other day. I discussed the Turkish lira with all of you very quickly and let all of you know that the Turkish lira was going to be the first currency indicating this global financial reset and this global currency reset. The Turkish lira capped off a historic week with a big lift from the government. Turkey's lira closed out a strong week on record on Friday, spiking more than 50% with the support of billions of dollars of state-backed market interventions and a promise that the government would cover FX losses on certain deposits. You see, guys, this is artificial. They're propping up this currency for this global currency reset. They paused the Turkish stock market. All of these things are not normal. All of these things are absurd. The government's role that they're going to play in this global financial reset cannot go overlooked because it will be massive. Intervention will be happening everywhere. It's starting off in Turkey. It's going to Iraq. Then it's going to spread throughout the Middle East to Europe, Asia, and the rest of the world. America will be the last ones. But by the time it happens here, it'll be too late to profit from this. Get some assets, specifically crypto, and watch everything, your perspective on life, and especially your finances, change. Credit unions are seeking regulatory approval to hold crypto and Bitcoin directly. Holding digital assets and having regulated custodians are something that's so important when it comes to the price appreciation of these cryptos. And that's all coming. Trickle, trickle, flood. Institutional FOMO has officially arrived. And something I'm going to tell all of you is, you guys are the early adopters that got in before the tens of trillions of dollars of institutional money was able to get in. Of course, the 1% already has their play in this game. There's no denying that. But there's going to come a point when you realize how early you really were. The reason I've been shilling crypto to all of you for the past 3 years while I've had this channel, and I've been learning so intensely about this space for the past 5 years since 2016, is because 10 years ago, I knew there was going to be a massive financial paradigm shift, market collapse, currency collapse, and an incredible crisis that will allow for an incredible opportunity. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is fact. Markets did crash in 2020. Wealth inequality is surging. The middle class is almost obliterated. Households have never been this far in debt in the United States, and the 1% have never been so rich. Now, many of them are selling. We saw that CEOs have sold a record amount of stocks this year already, and December hasn't even ended yet. What this means is this crash is not over. This currency reset and financial reset is not over. What we saw in March 2020 was only a little blip. What we saw December 4th in the crypto market was only a little blip. Things are going to get ugly. But in crypto, before it gets ugly, we have a chance to position our pennies next to the billionaires' dollars and turn that into multi-millions. This is why I come out here every single day and stress that fact. Because time for the average Joe is running out. Act now. Do not procrastinate. Because it's better to be a year, a month, a week, a day early than 1 second too late. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now, I'll be back tomorrow with another video.